you. Good luck.
Everybody ready? Are you all?
Yep.
Set to go. All right, we're gonna go ahead and call this meeting to order of the Delta County Board of Adjustment. And I think the first item is gonna be, well, we'll stick with the roll call. If you, Candace, if you would start.
You bet.
with roll call and
Sorry.
Okay, yeah. Candace Conway, District 2.
Mike Twombly, District 1.
Jacob Gray, District 3.
Brittany Haney, planner.
Ever, code compliance? Yeah, if you want to move your mic.
Mine wasn't even on, it was staying red, sorry.
Okay.
Okay, before we move on to.
Is red on?
Red
Yeah.
zone.
Oh, it was
It's
on.
fun. Sorry.
My
fault.
before we move on to the public comment, I just wanted to reiterate to everybody that when this Delta County Board of Adjustment was created, we had a county commissioner who was key in adopting the land use code as a member and chair for that first year. So they kind of showed us what was going to go on and how we were going to do things. And that is how we are going to continue to do things as long as I'm a member of the board. I'm not looking to change anything. The structure that they set up is what we've been doing since then, and that goes to your multiple what do I want to say? When we call for a motion, you'll get one motion, and any deliberating we do will be still done in the deliberation. And we will kind of keep it clean and neat and sweet and petite for you to write all of that stuff down or keep track of our babbling.
I appreciate
Okay.
it.
All right, so moving on, public comments. Is there anybody here who has comments not related to this application and would like to speak? I'm assuming no, you three are all our applicants. Are there any additions, deletions, or corrections to the agenda for this evening?
We have done.
Okay. Moving on, minutes from the last meeting. Did everybody have a chance to look at those? Any additions, deletions, or corrections to the minutes?
A couple corrections, at least in the minutes, there was reference to Pick and Mesa Water as not, the applicant was applying for Pick and Mesa Water and they didn't have any taps. It was actually Bone Mesa Water, of which I had made a statement that I was a director for Bone Mesa and didn't think there was a conflict, and no one else did too, but I wanted the record to show that. And then I think the mix up was that Pick and Mesa Water was going to be providing water to the said cistern that we allowed the variance in, so. However, staff feels like you guys could incorporate that, would be great.
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Anything else?
Hey, I don't believe so. Thank you for bringing that up, Jacob.
Is there a motion to approve
I
the
would-
minutes?
Go ahead and motion to approve those minutes with the on-record statement Jacob made.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to the first, or the only scheduled item, PLN 26-031. Bacchus?
Vegas.
Vegas.
The only
I was wrong on both options.
You don't have to come up yet if you want to, that's great. If not, then that's fine too. I mean, we've got a lot of people. Don't show up.
You're
All right. Let's adjust some things here. Right,
Brittany, anyone online?
no, not at this time.
Okay, thank you.
Right, so tonight before you guys, you have PLN 26-031. Vegas. This application is for you to consider a variance to the standard setback requirements required for a rural, medium / heavy industry, building or operation. The subject property is located west of 2100 Road in Delta. All right, so here is the application information. The subject parcel is currently 7.79 acres and has been zoned A35. The owner has submitted an application for a wild game processing operation, also known as a meat processing operation, and an accessory dwelling unit, also known as an ADU. Per the 2024 Land Use Code, a meat processing operation falls under rural medium industry category and requires a limited use permit with public notice in the A35 zoning. Its accessory dwelling unit, ADU, is an allowed use in all zoning districts, meaning there is no review from the planning department. However, an access address application would be needed, which was applied for. When staff first got this application, we began processing the application, and then we noticed that there is a specific rural, medium, and heavy industry setbacks in the LUC. The specific setbacks that affect this project is a setback to residential uses, which require 1,000 feet from the property line for buildings and operations associated with uses related to rural heavy industry located in A zoning. So in the land use code, there is a definition for residential uses. In the land use code, residential uses the definition is residential uses for the purpose of this section means any property, whether developed or not, that is zoned A5, A2.5, or res, and any other property that has a residential tax assessment indicating residential use for the property for the purpose of measuring setbacks for intensive ag. The setback should be measured from the property line of the property that meets the residential use definition. So with that, the applicant is requesting a variance for the standard setbacks required for a rural medium industry operation, specifically the setbacks from residential use, which requires the 1,000 feet from the property. The owner has requested that the reduction for those setbacks be 90 feet. So per usual for a variance request, there are 3 findings. If you would like me to read the findings, we can. I think we all know what the findings are at this point. But as a reminder, a variance shall be granted. A variance cannot be granted unless your board, the Board of Adjustments, find that the variance meets all 3 of the required findings. So here we put together some maps for you guys. There are a couple different maps to go or to look at. This particular one is from where the proposed operation would be located to each of the individual properties that do have a residential tax assessment. It's a little hard to see here. So parcel 3459522100009, which is, I don't know if you can see where my mouse is, right up here in this corner. From the operation to that corner property, it is 340.994 feet. The next one, I'm just going to go right in order. If you want me to say the parcel numbers, I can.
You know.
Thank you, I really do that. All right, so the next tax residential tax property, it's 265 feet approximately. The next is 389 feet. The next is 544 feet. The next is 800 feet. And then the closest would be 154 feet. Just quick, these are not exact, just an approximate. I didn't go out there and personally measure them. I just used our GIS tool to measure them. So again.
Quick question.
Yes,
Sorry, these are not notated.
No,
yeah,
there's nothing similar to this,
Different.
but they go
It
to,
is-
It is different. Okay,
I didn't get that other one.
okay, nor did I.
it is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So
Yes,
just for
we have this.
clarification on
Yeah.
that, does that go to the property line? Or is that even the property line look pretty close?
Say that again.
From the applicant's property line,
Mhm.
and this map here shows it to their residence, the addressed residence.
Correct.
But to
This
me-
one is from the proposed building
Yeah.
to
to
their property.
their property line.
With a residential tax.
Yep.
assessment. We did the house on your guys' map. I did the house just to really show you like what that 1,000 feet would look like.
Mhm.
It's pretty far out there. So again, this is not from the property owner's property. This is from the proposed building to,
To the adjoining property.
yes, to the houses.
Thank you.
So again, every single one from the operation, the proposed operation to the house, they're well over 1,000 feet. Again, not exact, but
Right,
approximate.
yeah.
So here you can see the site plan. There is an existing residence on the property. It is there in the green. The proposed building is there in the yellow. There's an existing access. There's a couple existing outbuildings. In the darker blue is approximately where the applicant would put his parking lot, because with this, you would need a parking. There is a small distance between the owner's property line to the proposed facility, which would be about 85 to 90 feet. Not that that matters, but pretty quick and easy. So with that, you are to consider or can't even speak. Consider a variance finding as they apply to PL 26-031. Backus.
Backus.
Approve, conditionally approve, or deny the variance request to reduce the standard setback requirements required for rural, medium, and heavy industry building or operation, and authorize the director, which would be me, I guess, at this time, to prepare a resolution reflecting the BOA's decision. And that does conclude my presentation. And of course, the owner is here. So if you guys have any questions, he'd happily answer them.
I was just gonna ask you if you would leave that
Sure
up,
can.
because since those ones aren't in there, I'd like to reference.
Great. Anybody have questions for staff before we move on to the applicant?
I don't believe so. Just
Okay, I
the
don't
clarification
for
was
now.
great. Thank you.
No? All right. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. My name is Justin Backus. This is my business partner, Ryan Moore. We're looking, as she stated, to open a wild game processing facility. And do I have a time limit?
No.
Okay, you didn't mention one, so I wrote a 3-minute speech here. Good evening, members of the board. My name is Justin, and I'm here tonight requesting an area variance from 1,000-foot setback in Code Chapter 2, Section C, subsection 3E for our property at 641 2100 Road. This is for county line craft processing with limited use with notice We will operate out of a 28 by 35-foot shop with an upstairs ADU. The planning department engineers or planning department staff has already verified that this project completely complies with every other element of the Delta County Use Code. The setback is the only hurdle. Our precedent would be that criterion 1, the hardship due to unique conditions. The subject property suffers from exceptional narrowness. The strict application of the standard 1,000-foot setback for rural medium industry creates an insurmountable practical difficulty, making it impossible to meet the required distance from neighboring residential properties. Without variance approval, the building envelope of subject property for this business collapses to 0. I will note that these overly restrictive medium industry standards have been elevated to the Board of County Commissioners for upcoming pending review and change. Criterion 2, relief from the hardship, granting the requested reduction to a 90-foot setback, or based on the GIS, an 85. I don't know how that changes this, but if it needs to be 85, maybe I can still change that, hopefully. But anyways, the reduction to the 90-foot setback directly relieves the hardship, and it provides the exact relief necessary to allow this development and business application to move forward. Criterion 3, permitted use compliance. This is not a request for a prohibited use. This application is fully complied with all other aspects of the land use code. This single setback standard is the sole barrier preventing the business from moving forward. Now, our neighbor impact, I understand the intent of the 1,000-foot setback is to protect neighbors from undue nuisances like noise, dust, odor, etc. And while that is a noble requirement, the 1,000-foot setback, to me, it seems excessive. And the only home within a 1,000-foot radius of the building, in the proposed building, is my own residence. If we looked at her map where she drew from where the building is going to be to the residences, not one of them is closer than, what was it, 1,039 feet was the closest?
Yeah.
I know that the code specifically requires setback from residential property lines, and that is a big distinction. But in consideration of what the intent of the code was, we come darn close to meeting what the intent of the code was. So I'd like you to take that into consideration as well. And with that, I think I'm open to whatever questions you might have.
Got anything to start?
I guess so let's go back to what is your objective? Do you want to build a shop and a mother-in-law's suite type thing on it?
Yeah, the mother-in-law suite, it's gonna be a 2-story.
Okay,
It's a 28 by 35 square building. The mother-in-law suite is above. That's what we have proposed. And we will run the wild game processing out of the shop underneath.
okay.
Just to clarify, I read through some of your the county line, the business plan.
Okay,
You're just gonna take a carcass out of a pickup truck or whatever, take it in and hang it,
yes,
process when you're ready. You're gonna have a dumpster like everybody else, that's the few that are left in Delta County anyway, the
Right.
processing plants. And that's how you're gonna dispose of everything through a commercial dumpster.
yes, sir.
You're not gonna be like Homestead Meats and have a truck to haul stuff away or anything like
No.
that.
No, and we have a in the compliance guide, it shows that there's a odor mitigation plan.
Yeah.
And we would enact that as well. If you wanted me to go over that, I can. I'm sure that you guys had plenty of time.
Well,
to-
we're not, nobody's even bringing that up,
Okay.
so, but I just wanted to
Yes,
be right that
yep.
that I'm thinking along the right lines.
And we were also planning to put sound dampening rock wool insulation around the whole downstairs. Even though all of the machines don't produce that much noise, all operations will be done with the doors closed, to maintain cool temperatures while we process the meat. And that sound dampening rock wool would mitigate any noise that's coming from inside the building.
Okay, no other questions at this time?
Yeah, looking at, it seems like you got signatures from pretty much all neighbors. Is that all of these folks?
Yes.
And did you have a meeting per se, or did you just kind of go around?
I went to the different neighbors. It took me a couple weeks to actually
Yeah,
be able to meet face to face with everybody. But this one here in the corner, this is Don Picard. He's on here signed. Looks like he's the second to last one on there that's signed. This one's owned by Fidel Santiago. This property is actually vacant, but it still belongs to the same guy that owns this one.
Mhm.
The people on the corner has signed, that was Juan Ledesma. And then the next property is. Juan signed twice, or there was two Juan Ledesmas. That was Juan Ledesma as well, and then the one on the end was that was Gabriel Santiago, and he didn't sign this, but he was there with his father as a translator.
Mhm.
Um,
It's great. And no one had any concerns.
no, as well as the people that are straight across with the property line that actually be closest to the building, that's the Juths. Well, that's the people we bought the property from, and they
They're on board.
told me the horror stories about another thing and said, we have no problems as long as we get approved.
I was glad to hear that this is kind of getting elevated because the intention was, I believe, to residences. I don't know how that got.
Right, and it's another part of it too, with rural medium. You know, that's wineries, that's, farm equipment shops.
So more high traffic.
Well, it's
Just-
not, they're
Oh,
smaller, but I mean, if you think of a winery, where are our wineries located at? They're right by residential. Yeah, so that's also affecting many applications that we have recently received.
Yeah.
So we did, go to the Board of County Commissioners in one of our most recent work sessions, to discuss this issue. It seems as if they are on board with, looking at updating it.
The rough draft has been completed and will be going to planning commission next. Part of that is also what the applicant has done, which included consent letters.
Mhm.
That is part of the provisions that we were discussing for the updated version for the land use code regarding the 1,000-foot setback. It does seem to be something that the commissioners agree is very problematic. And again, I think we lost intent
Mhm.
versus the reality of how it was written. And that seems to be how it's received. Its next step will go to the planning commission.
Good.
Very good.
No other questions?
Okay, we have no other questions at this time. Can we go into deliberation?
Sure.
Thoughts or concerns?
Applicant did a really good job. Including business plan that's pretty tight. Made a great 3-minute presentation. Always appreciate that. This one seems like a no-brainer to me.
I think I had no issues with it. I was out there again this morning and flipped your sign over on the neighbor's property, so if you saw me poking around, I wanted other people to figure out where you were.
Of course, the day that I leave overnight for work,
Yeah,
the sign
Okay.
blows away.
blows away. It didn't go far, just
Yeah.
an adjoining property, but I think if there's an issue, the issue is really with the county and that 1,000-foot setback, because that, like you suggested, there's so many things that would fall into that medium. I don't know if that was part of our original boilerplate, on the land use code, but the land use code was reviewed. And they get input from the planning commission, but there's so many of these things that we're gonna run into that need just a little tweaking or punctuation or,
We're figuring that
Yeah.
out.
so I think this would be a great one to get the footage right.
Agree.
You ask for 90, but 85 would do it.
Yeah, well, based on her GIS, yeah.
Okay, so that's about the only thing I see that if we were gonna make a change.
Just get
Make sure it
accurate,
complies, nine. Yeah,
accurate.
we're talking about 5 feet, so other than that, I don't have any issue with it at all.
I agree.
You either? We entertain a motion?
You wanna take this one?
You take this.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, I move to approve PLN 26-031 Bacus. As staff presented, just making note that the footage should match what it actually is. And so,
Would you like to make it a point to pick a number and then that building envelope be created to match that variance to the setback? And then we make it a condition of your variance.
sure. Is that what staff recommends?
That way we have
Maybe-
specificity.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
didn't put a recommendation on it.
Right,
but
right, right.
Yeah. Is there a specific setback?
Well, it depends, you said your GIS wasn't specific, exact,
Not
right?
exact, But I
So-
think his 85 would probably.
So 85 gets us with a little, if we do 90, you might run into that, so.
You feel comfortable with that?
Yeah, I went out there with a 300-foot tape and measured off of the corner of my house. 28 feet plus another 35 would put me on the corner closest to the road. Measured from there to the borrow ditch, and that was about 90 feet, 85 feet.
Okay.
So
With
85.
With a
would work
building
perfectly.
envelope of 85 feet.
I would second that,
Okay,
all of that.
motion's been
Sorry.
made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. She's quickly writing.
Definitely not quickly. Can second.
Yes.
Yeah, again, good job. It's a good looking application.
I appreciate you guys' time. This has been a very enlightening process to just how much work goes into starting a business.
Mhm.
And these hurdles are no small feat. So I appreciate you guys being willing to work with me and willing to embody the spirit of Delta County's code. So thank you very much.
Well,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. We look forward to you doing business in Delta County.
Yes. Well, hopefully within 10 years, we'll be buying commercial property
There you
back for you.
There you go.
So thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I'll be in touch.
Are we,
You can
where do you want
leave,
me
you
to
can,
sign?
Give it to
yeah,
Mike.
just set it out front of the flag.
Yeah, by that.
It is a little rough for the wear after.
We
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. The board comments. We could have our new director introduce himself and
So my name is Brittany, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Interim. Are you kind of acting
For
director?
tonight.
Yeah,
We do have a new board, or. Oh my gosh, I just almost said Board of Adjusters. See, you got me all fumbled.
so sorry.
Yeah, no. We do have a director coming on board though.
Yeah.
Yes.
His name is Oren Danbrook. He has been our official director for about 2 weeks now. Yeah, he was supposed to be online, something probably came up. His schedule right now, I mentioned it to Candace and Mike. His schedule right now is probably gonna be Monday through Wednesday. He does have a project that he's wrapping up in Utah. So he, if it's a Tuesday or a Thursday or a Friday, he's available by email. So
Very good.
that's
Okay.
really all we have to relate.
Very good.
On our a specific question on our last meeting, has anybody shown up, started legal action, anything like that?
And that was, our last meeting was for Okalaka.
There's been no action.
Yeah.
No action. And they had, how long did they have to?
I think it was a 30-day application window.
Okay.
Because it would have been in part 106 through the judicial court.
Mhm.
We
Okay.
haven't heard
Good.
anything.
Very good.
Department report, you pretty much just covered it. Anything new for us coming up? Anything definite?
Like no projects that we can see coming forth to you guys soon, but as Everett mentioned, the land use code revisions are in the process, so you know, if you're willing and wanting to come to those, just to listen to see what changes are being made, we
Where-
can definitely share
Where do
that.
those actually happen? Is that,
We just do it, the next one will be with the planning commission, hopefully.
Because we only have, so we have minor edit. We have Beth regulation, natural medicine. I have reworded and proposed language for special events. For amending that because it's very. It's a mess. But other cleanup and edits involving like some places where we have a road and bridge misstatement. For specific requirements. Also, one of the cleanups is the part in land use code that says that the Board of County Commissioners review the Board of Adjustments decision. That is actually not statutory, so that is being corrected. One of the other edits I discovered, I think it was last week, they're all running together, I'm sorry, was clarification on the unanimous decision statements. So as you are aware in your bylaws, it states that all decisions can only be concluded by a majority in the decision voting making. The Sierra statute quoted in the land use code, and the way the land use code is written, it says that everything has to be a majority based on the Sierra statute. It has to be all three for anything to go through. That was misrepresented, the actual statute that they quoted. The section specifically identifies to an appeal of the director's determination. That is the only part that requires a unanimous things for if you are reversing a director's decision and administrative approval. That will require a unanimous. So we're going to clean up that language because that it is clear what they meant, but it just, again, the way it got written down versus the actual application. They cited the statute, but it needed to only apply to the administrative reversal. Everything else stands with your bylaws as a majority rule, so we do have to clean up that language.
good?
Would you be able to send out the bylaws? I only have rules and,
Yes,
So
I only have general rules amendment 1, but I don't have the bylaws.
we can send out those.
That'd be great.
Have you got a?
Yeah,
could
do
you
we have
send
an
it?
updated? Yeah, that would be great. I haven't had
I
one
don't
for a
think you
couple
would need
years.
to update it. I think the last time we updated was a couple years ago. And I think it was, you guys basically went over it in your annual meeting and then decided to make changes or leave.
Or
it
not,
plain.
yeah.
Okay,
So if you change it, it would have to go through.
Noted to, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anybody.
I think the last change was to correct the Robert's Rules of Order versus. But I bet you guys are in a different scenario.
Yeah, that was-
So I think that your bylaws are, I think you just reviewed them the last time. So,
It wasn't.
or
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, we'll get them sent.
That'd be great.
But if you would like to attend the next step would be you go through the planning commission, we can definitely send out that invite if you would all appreciate it.
Wouldn't hurt to send it out just to,
I mean,
for
you're-
informational.
Mhm. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and close the meeting.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you.